Y'all, stop whatever you're doing right now because what I'm about to tell you just broke the entire internet. Forget album drops, forget diss tracks, Drake. Yes, Champagne Papi himself just quit rap to become a stand-up comedian. And let me tell you, it's not the kind of funny you think it is. Word on the street. His first set had the whole crowd in painful silence. No bars, no beats, just bad jokes, awkward pauses. And fans wondering if this was a prank or a nervous breakdown caught live. Now, I know you're thinking, Drake, the man who gave us Marvin's Room and God's Plan, doing comedy. But this ain't no TikTok skit. Sources close to Ovo say he's serious. He's been telling people he's done with rap because he wants to make people laugh, not cry. Problem is, ain't nobody laughing. It all started when Drake pulled up unannounced to a small comedy club in Toronto, hoodie up, shades on, mysterious energy, and told the promoter he wanted to try something new. A club thought it was a joke until he actually got on stage, grabbed the mic, and started roasting himself, the industry, and even some of his own exes. But instead of cheers, he got crickets. And when a few fans posted clips online, bro, the internet went feral. Comments flooded in like, ain't no way Drake left rap for this. And he sound like he rehearsed in front of a mirror for 6 months and still bombed. Even his celeb friends are confused. The Weekname unfollowed him on IG. 21 Savage dropped a cryptic tweet, and Nicki Minaj reportedly told friends, Drake's going through something spiritual. But it gets deeper, because insiders say this career switch might be connected to some behind-the-scenes drama, tension in Ovo, money issues, and a secret meltdown that went down right after his last tour. So yeah, the internet's divided, fans are crying, and the sixth god just might have officially lost his throne for a mic and a punchline. And trust me, this story gets wild. Bro. When the clips first hit the internet, people honestly thought it was AI. Like, no way, Drake mister. Take care. The guy who made half the world cry in their car at 2 a.m. It's really on stage telling dad jokes about his beard and his feelings. But then the camera pans, and there he is. Same chain, same light skin squint, same energy. Just way more awkward. He's pacing on stage, mic in hand, nervously laughing between lines, like, yo. Y'all ever notice how being sad in Toronto just hits different? Silence. One guy coughs. Someone in the back whispers, is this real life? But it was real. Too real. Word spread fast. Blogs picked it up. Headlines popped off everywhere. Drake quits rap for comedy bombs on first night. Fans on Twitter started arguing. Some defended him, saying he was just exploring his artistic side, while others said he'd officially lost his juice. The club's manager, a dude named Marco who's been running open mics for 15 years, even told local news, look, I thought it was a prank. Next thing I know, Champagne Papi's asking me if we have a spotlight and if he can do a tight 15. Apparently, that tight 15 turned into a 40-minute emotional roller coaster where Drake kept slipping into full therapy mode. Like, he'd start with a joke about dating, then slide into deep confessions about fame and loneliness. At one point, he even said, man, I used to have a ghostwriter. Now I need a ghost audience. A few nervous laughs, but mostly stunned silence. When the set ended, Drake tried to dap up the front row, but most people were too confused to react. One girl said she thought it was an immersive art piece, not actual stand dash up. By the next morning, the clips had gone viral. Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, everywhere you looked, people were reacting. Someone edited his awkward laugh over the Marvin's Room beat, and it instantly hit 1 million views. Even DJ Academics went live saying, yo, Drizzy might be trolling. But this ain't the move, fam. Then Cardi B commented under a repost. Nah, he funny, but not like that. Behind the scenes, insiders started whispering that this wasn't a random meltdown. They said Drake had been spiraling for months. One source, allegedly close to Ovo Sound, claimed Drake told his inner circle, music don't make me feel anything no more. Apparently, after his last album didn't get the love he expected, he started doubting himself. He'd been spending hours watching old stand-up specials, Dave Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart telling people he wanted to reconnect with the crowd. It got worse after a private argument with 21 Savage. Sources say during a studio session, 21 joked about Drake's recent emotional tracks, calling them sad boy lullabies. Drake didn't take it well. They exchanged words, voices got raised, and Drake reportedly stormed out yelling, "You'll see. I'm done with all this rapped *T." 2 days later, he canceled a studio booking and told his team he was pivoting. What nobody expected was that he meant this. His mom, Sandy, is said to be worried sick. One insider told TMZ, Sandy's been calling him nonstop. She's trying to convince him to take a break, maybe go on vacation. But Drake's locked in. He told her he's found a new purpose. His dad, Dennis Graham, was spotted outside a comedy club in LA looking stressed. When paparazzi asked how he felt about his son quitting rap, he sighed and said, "Man, Aubrey's always been dramatic. I'm just hoping it's a phase." But to Drake, it's no phase. He doubled down. A few days later, he announced on Instagram Live that he was starting a new chapter. In the live, he sat on a couch in a dimly lit room holding a glass of wine. Wearing a hoodie that said, "Laugh now, cry later," he told fans. "I've said everything I need to say in music. It's time to make people laugh instead of cry." The comments were wild. Some fans typed crying emojis. Others wrote, "Please, Aubrey, no." One person commented, "You can't go from OVO to LOL." Still, he didn't back down. He announced a surprise pop-up comedy night in Los Angeles. Tickets sold out instantly, mostly because people thought it was a prank or a secret album rollout. When the night came, celebrities filled the room. Kendall Jenner, Lil Baby, even Kalani was spotted near the front. Everyone waited for a performance. Then the lights dimmed and Drake walked out with a notebook. No backing track, no intro, just a mic and that half grin that usually melts arenas. So, y'all ever try to be funny after ruining Rihanna's life? He opened. Awkward chuckles. Nah, for real though? Being Drake is weird. I be at Whole Foods and people whisper like I'm a ghost. Silence again. Halfway through his set, he started talking about how fame messes with your head. It got so deep that people weren't sure if they should laugh or clap. One fan said later, "It felt like I was watching a man unravel in real time, but with punchlines." Meanwhile, back in Toronto, OVO's inner circle was panicking. Insiders said his team didn't even know he was doing this show. "We thought he was trolling," one OVO rep said. "Next thing we know, he's got a comedy flyer with our logo on it. We're like, bro, we do music, not open mics." The fallout was immediate. Sponsors started asking questions. Brand deals were put on hold. And Netflix even pulled back on a rumored documentary partnership. The label wanted Drake to issue a statement clarifying that he wasn't quitting rap, but he refused. He told his manager, "If Chappelle can do 3-hour sets, so can I." And then came the twist nobody saw coming. During a podcast appearance the next week, Drake claimed that Kanye West had actually encouraged him to try comedy. "Yeah, they told me I was funny, like naturally funny," Drake said. He said comedy would heal my soul. As soon as that clip hit Twitter, fans went insane. People started saying Kanye had set him up, that this was all part of some long-game revenge plan after their beef. Memes exploded. Kanye told Drake to do comedy, mission accomplished. Drake laughed it off publicly, but sources said privately he was furious. Apparently, he felt betrayed, realizing that Kanye's advice might have been sarcasm. He reportedly called Kanye's team demanding clarity. But the Just posted a photo of himself laughing with the caption, "Some people can't take a joke." That's when things really started unraveling by the end of that week. Drake's comedy clips had become the internet's favorite meme format. People were stitching his punchlines with booing sound effects. One TikToker even posted, "Drake quit rap to become the first unfunny meme comic." And the worst part? Drake saw it all. Every post, every joke. People close to him said he became obsessed, spending nights scrolling through comments, trying to figure out where he went wrong. One source said he even started writing revenge jokes aimed at internet trolls. After that humiliating week, Drake went silent. No posts, no paparazzi, no cryptic. When he got on stage, the room was half full. No celebs, no cameras, just locals and curious fans. He started the set in total silence, just looking at the crowd for a full minute before saying, "Y'all think I'm a joke, right?" Nervous laughter. "Nah, I see the memes. I see the edits. But y'all don't understand. Comedy saved me." And suddenly, the whole tone shifted. It wasn't funny, it was confessional. He started talking about how music had turned into a machine, how every beat felt like an obligation, and how he felt trapped in a song that never ended. But then he did something unexpected. He turned it around and roasted himself hard. "I know y'all think I sound like I'm crying in every verse," he said. "But that's 'cause I've been crying for real since 2016. The crowd finally laughed. Not forced, not awkward, real laughter. He smiled, leaned into the mic, and said, "That's it. That's the sound I've been chasing." Within hours, fan-recorded clips hit the internet again, but this time, the vibe was different. Headlines started reading, "Drake redeems himself on stage, and maybe he's not that bad after all." Even 50 Cent commented under one post, saying he finally got one off. Still, the industry wasn't buying it. Insiders said Drake's manager, Oliver Elkativ, held a tense meeting with him the next day, basically begging him to reconsider his new path. "This isn't sustainable, bro," Oliver told him. "You're Drake. You built an empire on emotion, not punchlines." But Drake wasn't having it. "Emotions are funny now," he replied. Behind the scenes, the OVO team was splitting apart. Some believed Drake needed to go through this to evolve creatively. Others feared he was burning every bridge he'd ever built. One source said a few team members even started reaching out to other artists quietly, just in case the Drake brand collapsed. Meanwhile, fans started a Twitter trend. #LetDrakeLaugh. Tension only got worse when clips from his Miami show reached the late-night circuit. Jimmy Fallon made a lighthearted joke about Drake's new career, and Trevor Noah chimed in, saying, "If Drake's doing stand-up, maybe I should drop an album." Drake saw the clips and reportedly snapped. One source said he threw his phone across the room and yelled, "They think I'm a clown." That night, he went live again, this time looking visibly emotional, almost trembling. "I'm not crazy," he said. "I'm searching for something real. Music gave me fame, but comedy might give me peace." And then, he announced something that sent shockwaves through both the rap and comedy worlds. The Drake Experience Live Comedy Tour. 10 cities, 1 mic, no auto-tune. People thought it was a joke at first. But then ticket links dropped. Within minutes, every city sold out. Fans were divided. Some bought tickets out of loyalty, others out of curiosity, and a whole bunch just to witness whatever meltdown was coming next. His first tour stop? Chicago, the city that birthed his biggest rivals, the same city where Kanye's shadow still loomed. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Drake walked on stage wearing a vintage Bulls jacket and said, "I know this city, don't mess with me like that, but let's heal tonight." The first half of the show was rocky. He tried new material about fame, heartbreak, and his dad's mustache, but halfway through, he went off script. "You know what's funny?" he asked the audience. "Spending years proving you're real to people who only see you as a meme." Then, in one of the wildest moments of the night, he started freestyle roasting himself in rhyme form. It wasn't a song, it was like poetic stand-up. The crowd went wild. "This the Drake I paid for," someone shouted. It was messy, raw, but magnetic. After the show, celebrities started chiming in. Kevin Hart tweeted, "He's rough around the edges, but he's got potential. Call me, bro." Snoop Dogg posted, "Drake out here doing open mics. That's gangsta in a weird way." But not everyone was supportive. Charlamagne Tha God went on The Breakfast Club and said, "He's lost. Man's having an identity crisis in 4K. And then, as if the universe wasn't chaotic enough, rumors started swirling that Drake's ex, Rihanna, had shown up secretly at his Los Angeles show. Someone leaked a blurry photo of what looked like her in the audience, half smiling, half embarrassed. Twitter exploded. "Rihanna watching Drake bomb is the closure she needed," one tweet read. Another said, "She didn't come for laughs, she came for revenge." But when asked later, Rihanna denied it, saying, "If I wanted comedy, I'd watch Chappelle." Still, sources close to Drake said he believed she was there. That night, he reportedly rewrote his entire set, adding a new segment called The Ones Who Don't Laugh Anymore. The next show was in Atlanta, and that's where things got dark. According to fans, Drake seemed off. Less energy, more bitterness. Halfway through his performance, someone from the crowd shouted, "Bring back the bars." Drake froze. He stared at the guy and said, "You think I can't?" Then, in front of everyone, he started freestyling a full verse, cold, sharp, emotional. The whole room went silent. When he finished, he dropped the mic and walked off stage without a word. People didn't know how to react. Was it a breakdown? A statement? Or both? Clips went viral instantly. Joe Budden went live that night saying, "That was a cry for help disguised as art." Fans flooded comment sections with theories. He's using comedy as therapy. He's trolling the world. He's testing something big. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, UVO insiders revealed something shocking. Drake had been recording everything. Every show, every bomb, every crowd reaction. He was working on a secret project called Laugh Now, Cry Again, a hybrid album comedy special that mixed jokes with unreleased songs. One producer claimed Drake said, "This is my 8 Mile moment, but funny." Industry people didn't know what to make of it. Some called it genius, others said it was career suicide. But Drake, he was fully committed now. He told his team. They laughed at Chappelle when he walked away too. And yet, despite the chaos, the mockery, the confusion, something strange started happening. Fans were beginning to respect him again, not for being funny, but for being fearless. One viral tweet summed it up. Drake might suck at comedy, but at least he's not afraid to suck. What nobody knew, though, was that his next performance in Toronto would turn everything upside down, and it would involve an unexpected guest that made even his biggest critics speechless. When he returned to Toronto, everyone could feel something different in the air. It wasn't just anticipation, it was tension. People in the city had mixed feelings. Some wanted to support their hometown hero no matter what. Others were embarrassed, whispering that Drake was ruining the legacy. The venue he chose was small again, intentionally intimate, but the media presence outside was massive. News vans, paparazzi, even late-night hosts had flown in to witness what everyone was calling the Drake stand-up experiment. The crowd inside buzzed with nervous energy. The stage lights dimmed, and Drake stepped out slowly, wearing a plain black hoodie and jeans. No jewelry, no entourage, just him and the mic. "This is home," he started, his voice softer than usual. "If I can't make y'all laugh, maybe I shouldn't make anybody laugh." The audience clapped, a mix of support and uncertainty. He smiled slightly, then added, "Don't worry, I brought a surprise." For the first 10 minutes, the jokes were actually hitting. He joked about Toronto weather, his obsession with candles, and how every girl he's ever dated has an astrology degree and trust issues. People laughed. They were relaxing. And then, out of nowhere, he looked toward the wings of the stage and said, "Come out, bro. I need to see this." To everyone's shock, the special guest was none other than Kanye West. The crowd gasped. Phones shot into the air. Flashes went off instantly. Drake looked at him, half grinning, half nervous. Kanye walked on stage wearing oversized shades and a faded bomber jacket, holding a mic of his own. He said, "I told you to do comedy, not become a meme." The crowd exploded with laughter. It felt like a movie moment. Drake smirked and said, "Nah, the meme king. I'm just your apprentice." For a second, everyone thought they were friends again. The two went back and forth, roasting each other lightly. Kanye teased Drake about his sad boy aura, and Drake clapped back, saying, At least my wife didn't divorce me on live TV. The crowd howled, but then the energy started to shift. You could feel it in the silence that followed. Kanye's face tightened, and Drake's smile faded just a bit. Kanye leaned into his mic and said, "You know what's funny? People think you the emotional one, but you cold as hell when you want to be." The crowd got quiet. Drake took a slow sip from his water bottle and said, "That's projection, my guy." Laughter flickered again, but it was uneasy. And then Kanye said, "I ain't your punchline, Aubrey." The air froze. The audience stopped laughing completely. Drake stepped closer and said quietly, "Then don't show up in my city trying to make yourself one." The tension was thick enough to cut. They stared each other down for what felt like forever. Then Kanye suddenly smiled and said, "Nah, I love you, bro, for real." He dropped the mic and walked off stage. The crowd burst into applause, but Drake stood still, frozen in thought. The rest of his set after that felt different, darker, more reflective. He told stories about fake friendships, betrayal, and fame twisting every good intention. One of his jokes even landed heavy. "People say laughter's the best medicine. Ops and me times, it's the loudest cry for help." After the show, the internet caught fire again. Clips of the Kanye moment went viral within minutes. Headlines read, "Drake and Kanye almost fight on stage, an awkward reunion at comedy night." Kanye later tweeted, "I pulled up for healing." He wanted a punchline. Drake didn't respond publicly, but he did post an Instagram story with just one line: "Pain has timing." The OVO team was in crisis mode again. Oliver and Noah were reportedly arguing nonstop. One insider said, "We're watching the most successful artist of our generation unravel in front of everyone, and he thinks it's art." Sponsors started backing out again. Nike paused his OVO collaboration renewal talks. Spotify executives were concerned about direction, but Drake didn't seem to care. He was obsessed with his idea for Laugh Now, Cry Again. In a leaked voice note to one of his engineers, he said, "They laughed when I started singing instead of rapping. They'll laugh now too, but give it time." What nobody expected was that the Toronto show had been secretly filmed by his team in high definition. Every awkward pause, every tension-filled stare, every laugh. A week later, Drake uploaded a trailer to YouTube titled "This Isn't a Joke." It was a moody montage of clips from all his comedy sets, mixed with unreleased beats and emotional monologues. In the background, his voice said, "Sometimes you've got to bomb in public to heal in private." Fans lost it. Some called it genius, others called it pretentious. The video racked up 20 million views in 2 days. Netflix reportedly reached out, offering a deal for a full-length special. Insiders say Drake refused at first, wanting full creative control, but eventually agreed under one condition: he would direct it himself. Meanwhile, his inner circle was falling apart. Word spread that 21 Savage and Drake weren't even speaking anymore. Lil Wayne reportedly called him, trying to talk sense into him. A source said Wayne told him, "Look, Brew, you can be funny without throwing the music away." Drake's response: "I can't make hits if I don't feel human." His family wasn't doing great either. Sandy was said to be worried sick. She confided in a friend that Drake wasn't sleeping, barely eating, and was constantly rewatching his own sets. Dennis, his dad, tried visiting him, but they ended up arguing. Apparently, Drake snapped and said, "You laughed at me when I told jokes as a kid. Maybe that's why I'm chasing laughs now." Dennis left the house, visibly shaken. Even fans were starting to get emotional. TikTok was flooded with edits of old Drake songs over clips of him bombing on stage, with captions like "The Fall of the Sixth God." Some fans called it the saddest rebrand ever. Others said it was performance art on a whole new level. But then came the biggest twist yet. Reports started leaking that Kendrick Lamar had reached out privately. At first, people didn't believe it, considering their long-standing rivalry. But then Drake confirmed it during an Instagram Live. "Yeah," he said, "Kendrick hit me. Told me he respected the risk. Said not everyone's brave enough to fail in public." The comments section exploded. Fans started speculating about a possible collaboration, maybe even a joint project. But when asked directly, Drake smirked and said, "Nah, it's not about music. It's about truth." Rumors swirled that the two might appear together at Drake's final comedy show in New York, which was already being hyped as the the rebirth. Nobody knew what to expect. The internet was on edge. People wanted to see if Drake would rise from the ashes or completely crash and burn. In the days leading up to the show, he posted cryptic messages like "laughing hurts less than crying, and they'll never understand until they do." Fans were equal parts excited and terrified. One comment under his post said, "Whatever happens, this is history." And it was because what happened that night in New York would shock even the people who'd stopped believing in him. The night of the New York show felt like a movie. The line outside wrapped around the block, flashing lights from cameras bouncing off rain puddles as fans screamed his name. The atmosphere was heavy, almost spiritual. Nobody really knew what Drake had planned, but everyone knew it was about to be something either legendary or tragic. Social media was flooded with lives, tweets, and countdowns. Even people who hadn't followed his comedy detour were tuning in just to see if he'd finally redeem himself or completely lose it. The venue lights dimmed. A hush swept through the room. A single spotlight hit the stage, and there he was. Number intro music, no hype man, no backup. Just Drake, walking slowly toward the mic with that same nervous half smile. He looked different, though calmer, more grounded. His voice cracked slightly when he said, "Thank you for being here, even after everything." The crowd cheered, chanting his name. He waited for it to die down, then added, "Tonight, I'm not here to be funny. I'm here to be free." He started talking about how the whole world had laughed at him, and how he had learned to laugh back, not in defense, but in understanding. He said, "People think comedy is about jokes, but really it's about truth. The difference is, in rap, you rhyme the pain. In comedy, you speak it raw." The crowd clapped, but it wasn't like a typical comedy show. It felt more like a sermon, more like a man finally confessing something he'd been hiding for years. Then, mid-set, he did something completely unexpected. The lights dimmed again, and a piano began to play softly. Fans started whispering, recognizing the melody it was from his old song, Jungle. But instead of rapping, Drake started talking over it, reflecting on fame, betrayal, and self-doubt. "I spent years trying to be perfect for people who don't even know me," he said. "But imperfection, that's where the art lives." Then came the twist that had everyone gasping. Out of nowhere, Kendrick Lamar walked on stage, mic in hand. The crowd went insane, phones shot up. People screaming, crying, chanting both their names. Drake turned, smiling wide for the first time in months. "I told y'all, truth brought us together," he said. Kendrick nodded and replied, "We've been competing so long, we forgot we're both human." The two sat down on stools and started trading stories, half real talk, half comedy. Drake joked about losing fans to Kendrick's lyricism, saying, "Every time he drops, I lose 500,000 followers and gain 50,000 therapists." Kendrick laughed, clapping him on the shoulder. "You've got feelings, bro. I got rhymes. Together, that's therapy and poetry." The crowd roared, but it wasn't just laughter now. It was connection. People were standing up, clapping, cheering, crying. It felt healing. They even did an improvised freestyle at the end, blending Drake's mellow melodic flow with Kendrick's sharp bars. It wasn't polished, it was raw, imperfect. It's beautiful, and beautiful. And just when everyone thought the night couldn't get more emotional, Drake paused and said quietly, "This is my last show for a while. I'm stepping away to find peace." A wave of murmurs spread through the crowd. "I don't know if I'll ever come back to rap or comedy, but I know one thing: I needed this. I needed to fall. I needed to fail publicly. 'Cause if you can laugh at yourself, nobody can break you again." The audience erupted into applause that lasted nearly 5 minutes. People were chanting "Drizzy, Drizzy." But his eyes were glassy, and he just kept smiling like a man who finally let go of something heavy. Kendrick hugged him, whispered something in his ear. and walked off stage, leaving Drake alone with the spotlight one last time. He took a deep breath, looked into the crowd and said, "Thank you for laughing at me. And with me?" Then he dropped the mic gently and walked away. Within hours, the internet exploded. Clips from the show dominated every timeline. Drake's redemption night started trending globally. Headlines read, "Drake finally finds peace," and from meltdown to masterpiece. Even critics who had dragged him weeks before were now calling it one of the most vulnerable performances of the decade. Netflix confirmed they'd bought the rights to the show for a rumored $20 million. Fans were emotional. TikTok was full of tributes, edits, and tearful reactions. People wrote things like, "He didn't quit music, he evolved." And the funniest thing Drake ever did was find himself. Memes turned into respect posts. Even Joe Budden admitted on his podcast, "He made us all look stupid." That man turned failure into content and peace. Still, not everyone believed it was genuine. Some skeptics said it was all a long publicity stunt for an upcoming album. Others believed he was truly done with rap and would retire to focus on directing and writing. In the following weeks, Drake completely disappeared from social media. Again, no posts, no tweets, nothing. His team didn't respond to interview requests. It was like he'd vanished. But fans started noticing strange billboards popping up in major cities. Simple black posters with white text that read, "Laugh now, cry again, coming soon." No logos, no details. Just that phrase. People speculated wildly. Was it a new album? A comedy film? An autobiography? Nobody knew for sure. 1 month later, a short clip leaked online at a dimly lit studio. Drake in a hoodie, speaking softly into a mic. "They said I quit rap. I didn't. I just found a new way to rhyme." The clip cut to black. The caption simply read, "Soon." The internet went wild again. Blogs, podcasts, and news outlets dissected every second of that clip. Some said he was blending comedy and music into something completely new. Others said it was a farewell massage. But one thing was clear: Drake had done what no one else could. He turned humiliation into evolution. In the following days, rumors surfaced that he was quietly working with both Kendrick and Childish Gambino on an experimental project. A source close to the team said he's not trying to be funny anymore. He's trying to be real. And maybe that was the point all along. Maybe quitting rap, bombing on stage, getting laughed at by the whole world was exactly what he needed to remind himself he was human again. Fans started using a new phrase in the comments under his old videos: "the man who laughed his way back to himself." And even if nobody ever saw Drake perform comedy again, everyone knew they had witnessed something iconic and breaking, healing, and rebuilding himself right in front of our eyes. And as the lights faded on that final show, one fan in the front row captured the last shot before the curtain dropped. Drake walking off stage. Shoulders relaxed, finally smiling, for real. No music, no jokes, just peace. And just like that, the boy who cried in verses learned to laugh in silence. So now the question everybody's asking: was this a breakdown or a breakthrough? Did Drake really quit rap for good, or was this his most genius rollout yet? One thing's for sure: nobody's ever seen the Sixth God like this before. From platinum albums to silent comedy nights, from world tours to empty stages, Drake showed the world what it looks like to crash and still stand back up with a mic in your hand and a half smile on your face. Maybe that's the real punchline after all the fame, all the hate, all the love. The only thing left to do was laugh. Fans are divided. Some say he's reinventing the game. Others say he's lost forever. But let's be real, whether he's dropping bars or telling jokes, everyone's still watching. And that's power. You can clown him, you can doubt him. But Drake knows how to make you feel something, even if it's confusion mixed with curiosity. And maybe that's what makes him unstoppable. But what do you think? Did Drake really mean it when he said he's done with rap? Or is this all one big setup for his next masterpiece? Is Laugh Now, Cry Again the next big chapter, or the final curtain call? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we gotta hear what the people think. And while you're at it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn those notifications on, because we got more wild celebrity stories, more behind-the-scenes drama, and more real mixed fake news that'll keep you saying, "No way, that really happened?" Stay tuned, stay locked in, and remember, sometimes the biggest truth hides behind the loudest laugh.